Listening to Ron Siegel Radio on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content, let me remind you, within every market there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities, and you just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. I deliver it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. You can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990. Celebrations, of course, although I think I might have to go back to yesterday. See, today's National Gumdrop Day, and yesterday was National Cream-Filled Chocolates Day. I'll go live in the past, I think, for right now. Speaking of living in the past, I got the joke of the day for you today. The jerk. He's back in the news. I think I've got some interesting information. Kanye West wants $1 billion from Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, it's hard to believe. Kanye West thinking he's entitled. Obviously, he's already told us once before that now he's out there saying that he's responsible for Taylor Swift's career because he interrupted her in the middle of one of the awards programs. He's hit up Google's Larry Page. Yeah, Kanye says he's a $53 million in debt. All I can say is, who was stupid enough to lend that jerk that much money? Just my personal opinion. Obviously, you can tell I am not one of his biggest fans. Unbelievable. Moving right along this morning. Speaking of big fans, think about this one here coming into the news today. Bernie Sanders, now the third candidate for president to request and receive Secret Service protection. Cost to you and me $40,000 a day. There is $123 million in the budget for the 2016 elections just for Secret Service protection of candidates. $123 million. Now, when you've got these candidacies that are spending $1 billion, why can't we pull a Trump on them and send the bill to the candidate? Let them pay their own. Let them pay the government, you and me, back. They want to run for president. They want to raise all this money. Let them pay the bill. Why should we pay the bill for them?
So I know whose ass to kick.
Exactly. More news over the weekend. Boy, was there a news-filled weekend. I guess we're still in the weekend for some, being that it is President's Day today. But let's think about all the news that took place over the weekend here. Let's think about this. Justice Antonin Scalia passed away. One of the most conservative justices, longest tenured justice on the Supreme Court, passing away this weekend on Saturday. Obviously, It was a big part of the conversation at the presidential debate over the weekend. That was the one where Donald Trump once again throwing the Trump-erTantrum, is that what they call it? Trump-erTantrum. My kids acted like that. Boy, they'd be on restriction for a long time. But Trump, he says he's a billionaire. He tells us every day. Another one of those jerks. Unbelievable. Obviously has never learned any manners, interrupting people as they speak. Amazing. Thought Rubio and Bush had some pretty good nights on Saturday night. It's going to be interesting, the battle that comes up now, though, because there is precedent for the Senate not confirming any lifetime appointments. They generally slow down the lifetime appointments and the confirmation of lifetime appointments in the final year of a presidential candidacy. Ironically enough, on Saturday, moments before the debate, President Obama took time out from his busy golf schedule here in Southern California, out in the Coachella Valley. Took time out from his busy golf schedule to let us know that he would be fulfilling his constitutional duty, his obligation, his right, responsibility of appointing a replacement for Judge Scalia. Obviously, that is his right. He also suggested that the Senate should take up that and give them a vote. But ironically enough, it was Senator Obama in 2007 who filibustered the appointment of Justice, who was it? I'll find the name here in a minute. But President Obama is the one that filibustered Samuel Alito's nomination in the final year of President Bush's presidency. Interesting. And now we see Chuck Schumer, Senator Schumer, coming out and saying that this is not right, that the Republicans should not be obstructionists. But the sad thing is nowadays, there's video of everything. And there is even video of Chuck Schumer in 2007, I'll post it, saying that George W. Bush should not nominate any judges at that time. I wonder what's changed between 2007 and what Chuck Schumer had to say and 2016 with what Chuck Schumer has to say. I'm going to have to just kind of scratch my head there and see what that is. I wonder.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I got a bad feeling about this.
Maybe it's just politics, partisan politics. The tapes are out there. We got to keep on watching them to see what's going on with some of these things coming out of the partisan Washington, D.C. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with some of these things over the weeks and months to come. Unbelievable. To me, it's a simple thing. I like the idea of making this a topic of the conversation for the debates, a topic of conversation for the candidates. And right now, obviously, President Obama will probably remember the terminology. He'll probably remember the words. Elections have consequences. Up until this point, the president hasn't seen any of the consequences. The Republicans, even though they have the Republican people have overwhelmingly put more Republicans in Congress than were in there when the President Obama took office. Well, he hasn't seen any fallback on that. The Republicans really haven't stood up for anything in all that time. Now we're seeing that there may be some consequences to elections. President Obama may have to learn that. He may even remember the words, you want your way, Mr. President, win an election. Well, yes, he did win the election, but his coattails have not been very strong. That's what's going to be at stake in the next election. The coattails of the Democrats, the coattails of the Republicans, the direction of the United States, all of those things are going to be determined based on the next election. And I think it's great that the American people will have the opportunity to weigh in. Are they watching? Are they paying attention? Do they want us to be a socialist country? Do they want to work hard so somebody can take all your money? These are all the questions that will be asked. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, homeowners' net worth 45 times greater than renters. 5 things you should not do if you owe the IRS money. It's Monday, so we're going to talk about some real-time mortgage scenarios to see if maybe they fit you. Maybe it's too late to get that great rate that came about at the end of last week. We talked about it. You can reach me anytime. Call the off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia, presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Friday, Ron will pose a question based on on-air conversations during the prior 7 programs. The person to post the answer according to the guest conversation will win a date night package, including a dinner gift card for Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You might even be able to say hi to Ron when you visit Reunion Kitchen and Drink.
It's not every day your home gets flooded, but when it happens, you've got the good people at Apris on your side. With over 25 years of construction and insurance experience, they can turn any disaster around, making your home good as new. For 24/7 support, call 844-GO-APRIS or find us on the web at www.apris.me. Day, night, rain, or shine, when it happens to you, you know what to do. Go Apris. Remember, call 844-GO-APRIS. That's 844-462-7747.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 01869. 9452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio, or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. When you want the true equity position that you have in your home, equity, You got to text PEAR, Professional Equity Analysis Review, to 79564, and one of the trusted professionals will reach out to you. They will get you that equity position. And the only way you can do that, they're going to ask you some questions. They're going to need to know some data. And without the data, they cannot give you the truth, because they don't know what side of the road your house is on. They don't know what side of the golf course your house is on. The online tools don't know those questions either. So you got to really figure that out. And if you go and just fill out one of those dumb forms online, or you go on one of the websites that shows you within their paperwork that they're going to give you bad information or not always the most current or accurate information, I would suggest when you're talking about a house, your house, $300,000, if they're off by 5%, 10%, you're talking about $15,000 to $30,000 in inaccuracy. I think that's a lot of money. I think that's something that you should have a conversation about. I'm not a big fan of a lot of this online stuff. The reason I'm not a big fan of the online stuff is because I understand that professional guidance does not cost you anything. We're going to have a big conversation about that with our guest tomorrow. But it's professional guidance does not cost money. You pay for it, but your return on investment is what's the most important issue right there. So text PAIR, PEAR, 79564. You can get the true equity of your home. Now, one of the reasons that you want to know the true equity position of your home, here it is, a homeowner's net worth is 45 times greater than the equity or the homeowner's net worth or the net worth of individuals who are renters. Every 3 years, Federal Reserve conducts a survey of consumer finances in which they collect data across all economic and social groups. The latest survey, which includes data from 2010 to 2013, and we're going to kind of project that out for you based on some of the numbers that we know for up through 2016. Forbes article, National Association of Realtors Chief Economist Lawrence Yun predicts that in 2016, the net worth, well, actually, let me back up a little bit. The Federal Reserve's report that I started telling you about says it was 36 times between 2010 and 2013 that the net worth of a renter, $5,400 on average. Net worth of a homeowner, $194,500. Now, Forbes, they came out with an article, the National Association of Realtors Chief Economist Lawrence Yun predicts that in 2016, the net worth gap will widen even further to 45 times greater, because the net worth of a homeowner, $225,000, we see that personal savings are dropping. Net worth of a home renter, $5,000. $220,000 is the spread in the net worth between the homeowner and the renter. We also came out with a report, and I'll be posting a lot of these different pieces of information because we've got some of our friends over at Keeping Current Matters, Steve Harney, sharing some great data with us. Just sharing the data about what is it? What is the true numbers that we're seeing as far as who wants to rent, who wants to become homeowners? We've heard a lot of reports saying that the millennials do not want to buy their own home. Well, if you're a millennial, and I know that there's a lot of millennials that listen to us every day, fact of the matter is most millennials do want to own their own home. They want to get into the game. They realize that net worth gap really is there. They realize that homes are selling faster than they were. There's a lot of information coming out that is really predicting where we're heading in the future. I'm going to share some of it with you today. And again, like I say, we'll post a lot of this right online. But there's a lot of households being formed. There are 123.9 million households in the United States. 4.8% is the projected growth of households over the next 3 years. 5.95 million additional households will be formed. What are those? Those are young people who are currently living with mom and dad who are deciding that it's time for them to step out on their own. They want to go out. They want to live on their own. They want to be their own homeowner. They want to start getting into the game. They want a lot of different things that's all out there that they've seen their parents do. Maybe they want to get married. Maybe they want to have kids of their own. So we expect household formation to be robust over the next decade as the large millennial generation ages and forms their own level. Home ownership was at 69% in 2005. It's dropped down to 63.4% in the second quarter of 2015, but now it's heading back up again, 63.8% as of the fourth quarter of 2015. It's telling us that demand for sale housing will grow and will continue to be dominated by the older millennials, those ages 25 to 34. This demographic has the potential to claim a third of home sales, 1/3 of home sales in 2016. Let's look at a little bit of the makeup of these first-time home buyers. You may be one of them because this is what your peers think about this. All first-time home buyers, average household income. And here again, a lot of people have misconceptions, $69,400. The median age of first-time home buyers, 31 years of age. 56% are married, 18% are single females, 11% are single males, 13% are unmarried couples. Married couples, their average household income, $77,500. They're age 31. Single females, they have $49,400 is the household income, age 32. The single males, $58,100, and they're 30 years old. 21% Hispanics. 81% of Americans age 18 to 34, 81% say home ownership is part of their personal American dream. Yet there's still people that are out there renting. So here's some numbers that you might want to know. This comes from Rent.com 2015. 88% of property managers raised their rent in the last 12 months. And there does not appear to be any signs of stopping. 68% of property managers predict rental rates will continue to rise in the next year by an average of 8%. Rental rates rising by 8%. 53% of the property managers said they were more likely to bring in a new tenant at a higher rate than negotiate and renew a lease with a current tenant they already know. 53% said they were more likely to bring in a new tenant at a higher rate. Now, let's think about that because I was out, as you know, Thursday and Friday last week. This flu bug got me, but with interest rates having taken such a big dip on Thursday, they went back up a little bit on Friday. Had a lot of folks chatting with me, hitting me up, trying to find out, hey, what's going on with interest rates? How does it affect my family? That's the only thing that's important, is your family. And I was sharing with a lot of them that whenever, I don't know what direction interest rates are going to go. I have my suspicions. I know that Freddie Mac, National Association of Realtors, and the Mortgage Bankers Association all say that interest rates are going to be up by probably 1 full % by the end of this year. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. Here's what I do know, is that right now, if it makes sense for you to reduce your monthly payment, I just shared with you that the property managers are they say they're going to increase rent by 8%. If you can get in the game, beg, borrow, don't steal, but do whatever you are. It's about resourcefulness, not resources, getting a new home loan. Get in the game. Because what I did with a lot of these folks between Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even though I was coughing my head off, I didn't go visit them, was I shared information about how they can reduce their household payments, how maybe they can reduce the term of their loans. See, that's what happens when you own a property. You are in control. I'll give you a perfect example. I think I can get this one in real quick. because this is a gentleman who's several times we've talked about reducing his payments. He bought a house. He had to go through credit repair, bought a house, and he's refinanced his house several times, reducing the payments. But right now, because of the way the equity he's got in his property, well, I better save this one for you. $350 a month. What could you do with $350 a month? Just saving. It's off of the debt side of your balance sheet. You don't have to earn any extra money. You don't have to do anything extra, but not send a check for $350. We're going to talk about it. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Things you shouldn't do if you owe the IRS at tax time. Tips to finding the best deal on your mortgage. How much of rising household debt is mortgage related? You can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel and the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Southern California attorneys have over 15,000 real estate agents to call in Orange County for their personal and professional needs. Why do they overwhelmingly call Melinda Johnson? Simple. It's the Melinda Johnson trifecta. Melinda is an attorney, real estate broker, and realtor. Does your family deserve the same professional services California lawyers demand? Call Melinda Johnson at 714-863-5485. That's 714-863-5485. Or on the web at freedomfirstproperties.com. Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037 and DRE number 018694552.
37% of American homeowners believe they have over 20% equity in their homes. Fannie Mae tells us 69% of American homeowners have over 20% equity in their homes. Fully 1 in 3 American homeowners are not informed about the amount of equity they have in their homes. Are you one of them? How might this be holding you back from achieving your goals? Text RSR CMA to 79564 to get a property valuation from one of the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Again, to know how much your home is really worth, simply text RSR CMA to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Things you should not do if you owe the IRS money. Well, let's throw those out. It's your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, and it is wrong. Credit Sanitizer, they have the solution for you. You just need to go to their website, CreditSanitizer.com. Got a couple of different programs in there. One of them, right, I think there's a box right in the middle of their website that actually will share with you a comprehensive program as to LifeLock, get your credit repaired. There's a prescription drug purchasing survey that kind of gives you an idea of where in your area you get the cheapest prescription drugs. Sometimes you don't even want to go through your insurance. Sometimes it's cheaper to get them without going through your insurance in some instances. Check it out. So here are some things you shouldn't do if you owe the IRS at tax time. Number one mistake, not filing a return. If you owe taxes and you can't afford to pay, you may think that the best thing to do is just not file a return at all. Not a good idea. When you don't file your return on time, the IRS automatically tacks on a 5% failure to file penalty for every month you owe taxes, up to a maximum of 25%. On top of that, you'll also pay interest on the bill until you pay in full. Number two, not filing an extension. Requesting an extension opens a new window, gives you additional 6 months to get your return completed. If you file an extension request before the April tax deadline, you don't have to worry about the failure to file penalty. You will, however, still owe a failure to pay penalty on any outstanding taxes, which comes to 0.5% of the balance. This penalty is capped at 25%. Mistake number three, not setting up a payment plan. The IRS really doesn't want to have to come after you to get money you owe. To make it easier for taxpayers to pay up, Uncle Sam offers payment plans. If you owe taxes and you can't pay, it's a good idea to find out whether you qualify for an installment plan. As of 2015, you may be eligible for an online payment plan if you owe the IRS less than $50,000 in income taxes, penalties, and interest. A lot of money there. If you fit that criteria, you can apply for a payment agreement online. Number four, ignoring the consequences. Aside from the penalties and interest, there are other things the IRS can do to make you regret skipping out on paying your taxes. Your passport could be canceled. They're going to come after you. They're going to get their money, so figure it out. Mistake number five, choosing the wrong way to pay. If you don't have enough cash to cover your tax bill, you might be thinking about taking on more debt to do it. Depending on your situation, that could mean borrowing against your home equity. Opens a new window. Take out a personal loan or charging it all on a credit card. One thing you don't want to do is make your decision in a rush. So here's the bottom line. Do these apply to you? Well, I don't know. And I'm certainly not a tax lawyer. I don't even play one on TV. I just know that these will get you in trouble. So here's the idea. Talk to a tax professional. Find out what makes sense for you and your family, then act accordingly. So before the break, I was chatting with you, and we were talking about the idea of how interest rates or rent has been, the discussion of rent has been that it's going up. And we know that property managers, the report from the property managers, they're going to raise rent about 8%. But when you own a home, you have flexibility. You can either continue making the exact same payment that you've been making if you've got a 30-year fixed rate loan or a 15-year fixed rate loan, not one of my favorites, but if you have a fixed rate loan, your payment can stay the same. Now, here's a couple of areas that you have options. If you have a 15-year fixed rate loan, you have the option of potentially, depending if you qualify, converting that into a 30-year fixed rate loan, and that will lower your payment. If you have a 30-year fixed rate loan, you can look at it and see what the options are to potentially either do nothing and keep your loan the same, or do something and lower your loan. So here, Mr. S is the one I started talking to you about before the break, and didn't have the greatest credit. So we ran him through the credit repair programs, And he was able to finally stop renting and get his own first home. But he didn't have a huge down payment, which was absolutely fine. So he got an FHA loan. FHA rates went down, so we were able to do for him a FHA streamline loan, which basically just reduced his interest rate, so it reduced his payments. Great strategy. Well, over the years, there's been enough equity built up in the property that now he doesn't need an FHA loan. So even though he had redone his loan with a 3.5% interest rate, he's now in a position that he could redo the loan again at a slightly higher interest rate, but get rid of his mortgage insurance. But the combination of the two will allow him to save $349 per month. $349 per month. So think about that. What can you do with $349 a month? That's $4,200 a year. And it looks to me like he's got about 27 years left on his loan. So $4,200, it's got to be close to $100,000 saved, right? Over the life of the loan. Maybe he's not going to keep it for the full 30 years. Here's the other idea. Like I say, he's in this loan for about 3 years. He's been able to afford that loan for all this time. So what would happen if he continued making the exact same payment, but didn't pay as much money to the bank, didn't pay that mortgage insurance? Well, if he makes the exact same payment, this is called mortgage planning. Mortgage planning. If he makes the exact same payment, instead of it being a 27-year loan, it becomes just under 22 years. He saves 5 full years of mortgage payments. Make the exact same payment, but restructure the loan. See, these are all the ideas and things that come up when you start talking about mortgage planning, debt planning. You see, I hear people all the time talking about financial planning. And I have nothing against financial planning. I think it's very, very important. But on the other side of the coin is debt planning. It's an equal side of the balance sheet. Sometimes it takes longer for you sometimes it takes longer for you to get to financial planning because of the debt planning. Think about that. Yet we don't spend any time dealing. We just pay the bill. When you get your credit card bill, you pay it. When you get your mortgage, you pay it. When you get your cell phone bill, you pay it. Well, think about all these different things. Yes, you have to pay the bill, but the idea here is maybe if you plan, you don't have to pay as big a bill. Mortgage planning. On a quarterly basis, either myself or my wife will call Verizon, our cell phone carrier. We'll call our cable TV or satellite TV. We'll call all these different home service providers and see, technology is changing. Are we still on the plan that makes the most sense for us? Have things changed in our lives? Are we using things differently? Have things changed on their side? Are things working the same way there? These are all significant issues that are on the debt side of your balance sheet. Now, when you start talking about saving $350 a month, give it to Allie Ferguson. She's going to show you how you can put that to work. Or Pat Moran was on here a couple of weeks ago talking about certain insurance products that you can put that in that are going to earn 2 to 13% every single year. When they earn that kind of money every year, you benefit. You make money. when you're making that kind of money, it's growing. By the time that matures, by the time your house is paid off and you've been saving that extra $350 a month or a portion of it, think about how much further ahead you're going to be at retirement time, or when it's time for a vacation, or when it's time to deal with insurance and you're comfortable getting a higher deductible so you don't have to pay as much money to the insurance company. All of those are part of your planning from the debt side of your household financial structure. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, tips for finding the best deal on your mortgage. We will chat about that one. We're going to also do another case study on Mortgage Monday. You can reach me anytime. Call our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a loved one who wants to stay in their home, but you have health concerns about it? The Preferred Care team understands the challenges of caring for your loved ones. Their goal is to keep seniors as independent as possible while maintaining their health, safety, and overall well-being. Whether you need just a few hours a week or 24-hour care, Preferred Care caregivers are trained to meet your needs. Call Preferred Care at 714-696-9150. That's 714-696-9150. Or visit preferredcare.com. Attention homeowner 62 and older. Do you worry if you can afford to keep your home? Are you concerned about paying all your monthly expenses? Or do you simply wish you could live a better retirement? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you may qualify for a program that can help. It's called FHA Reverse Mortgage. It's insured by the federal government. You'll receive tax-free money. You aren't required to make any monthly mortgage payments, and you still own your home. Siegel Lending Team is a local leader in FHA Reverse Mortgages. Call free to get your free reverse mortgage guide, free custom quote. And when you call now, you can get all your questions answered by local experts. There is no monthly mortgage payment, and tax-free money you can use for healthcare expenses, home improvements, or just live a better retirement with peace of mind. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-1990 to get your free reverse mortgage guide and quote. You'll also find them on the web at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Call 800-306-1990 now.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Get rid of the old car blues with a 1.48% APR auto loan with no payments for 90 days from California Coast Credit Union. Details at calcoastcu.org. Restrictions apply.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends over at VIP Mortgage. When you are ready for that home, we've been talking about this all day long. When you're ready for that new home, our friends at VIP Mortgage, they've got every product. 1 day out of foreclosure, 1 day out of bankruptcy. Yes, the traditional FHA loan, the conventional loan, loans up to $3 million. They've got them all. Just give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with them, and we will see how we can get you on the road to your new home. So, tips for finding the best deal on your mortgage. That is the subject today. Tips for finding the best deal on your mortgage. Going to get some good ones. I mean, really the whole bottom line, and I'm going to share this with you because there are a number of tips. The first thing I'm going to tell you is I know there was a big set of commercials that went through during the Super Bowl. And one of the companies is talking about doing it online. And I'm going to tell you that really you can do, I use this analogy all the time, and some people laugh at me because I do use it. But buying your house is probably one of the most significant things you do. The mortgage, probably the largest debt that you're going to take on in your lifetime. So think about this. If that is, those are just facts. If those are the case, the largest debt, the largest asset, do you think your health might be comparable? Not, it's probably one step above the finances, right? Your health. Do you want to do your own surgery? Well, it's significant. And trying to do it with one of these online apps, that to me is just foolish. And I know that there's going to be people that tell me that, yeah, you can do it. And yes, they're right. You can do it. You can do it online. You do not need to have somebody help you with a mortgage. But if you want to get good guidance, if you want to get good counsel, yeah, you do need somebody to help you there. You got to have help. So tips for getting the best mortgage deal. Number one, compare apples to apples. If you're going to get quotes, number one, it's very, very difficult to compare apples to apples. You need to understand what a quote means. If you do not get a quote precisely at the same time from two different companies, you're not talking about apples to apples. Because the rates change all the time. Unless you're talking about something after the market closes. If you're talking in the evening or late afternoon, after the market closes, then you might be talking apples to apples. But if you're talking to one person at 9 in the morning and another person at 1 in the afternoon, you're not comparing apples to apples, because just like the stock market changes all day long, so does the bond market. And the bond market, mortgage-backed securities, is part of that. I would ask them to show you what you're paying for, what you're getting. Now, it used to be called a good faith estimate. We don't have good faith estimates anymore. They're now loan estimate is what they call it, an LE. But you want to find out. Here's the basics. I mean, you can get the formal document, but what you really want to know, how much is the loan? What's the interest rate? What are all the fees? If you're buying a new house, a lot of the fees, especially in Southern California, are going to be third-party fees that are going to be consistent across the board. So title, escrow, transfer tax, all those are going to be fees that are they're third-party fees, and they're going to be, your mortgage person is not going to have any options with that. When you're talking about refinancing, well, then the mortgage person may have some options there because there are different issues. I would say talk to the person who's going to handle your loan. Is it one individual? Is it a team? Obviously, the folks over at VIP Mortgage that work with us, they're a team. You're going to have several people. So if one person is ill, it's not going to have any effect on your getting your loan. It's going to be because they're working together. There's a whole host of people that are going to try and make this the best process possible for you. So you may or may not be dealing with that specific individual right away. Make sure that you look at different programs. Maybe and it's all going to go back to you. That's where it's all going to start and end. How long are you going to be in the property? Is this your forever home? Is it going to be a rental property? What's the market environment? Can you get one of those 7-1 adjustable rate loans that are going to be fixed for the next 7 years, but then they're going to adjust? Plan for costs that are not charged by the lender. Again, that's your third-party fees, property taxes, homeowner's insurance. Hopefully your lender has a good insurance person. We talk about here your household board of directors all the time. Text ATP to 79564. The Ron Siegel Radio team will put you in touch with insurance people, financial planners, tax planners, obviously our friends at VIP Mortgage, real estate folks, attorneys. All of them are part of the team for your household board of directors that are going to make things work for you. There may be, like I said, there's a lot of different programs. Get a copy of your credit report. See if it makes sense. Talk early about your credit report, because sometimes you can do certain things that will help get your score up a little bit. I've seen many times, just by spending an extra $3,000 or $4,000 and paying off strategic debt, you're able to get your credit score up, which will bring your interest rates down. Got to make sure you do it strategically. You have to make sure that the loan officer yes, they're going to make money, but they need to be working for you. They cannot work for you if you keep them in the dark. So give them all the details about your situation. Maybe you want to lower your down payment and pay points to lower your interest rates. We talked about that a little bit last week. It's a strategy. Find out what documents they're going to want. I can tell you right now that it's pretty basic. The documents are what they are, and a great mortgage professional is going to just have a checklist. They're going to be able to send that to you and say, hey, you know something, we need all these documents. Get them to us, and it'll make the process a whole lot simpler for you. Know who you're dealing with when you fill out an online form asking for rates. A lot of these institutions, when you go and fill out a form online, you go to a lending tree, not a bad company, but you just have to know what they are. They're a database company that sells your name and information to multiple lenders. So when you fill out their form online, basically what that means is you're asking them to have a whole bunch of people start calling you consistently to try and give you information. That's what it's all about. So if that's what you want, yeah, lending tree's a good option. When they say banks compete, well, why do they compete? They're selling your information to them. That doesn't mean that they're the best option for you. That's what's important, is your options. What can you do? Just a thought there. That's the Mortgage Minute, again, brought to you by our friends over at VIP Mortgage. Again, one day out of short sale, one day out of bankruptcy, one day out of foreclosure. All programs available today over with VIP Mortgage. So I was sharing with you scenarios on Scenario Monday. What are some more scenarios that might be good for you to think about? Maybe you're in something similar. This is Mr. H. So Mr. H got a 15-year loan, and he had a rate of 3 7/8 is what he called and shared with us. Wants to know how he can cut that down to 7 years or 10 years. So here's the fact of the matter, is that 7-year, 10-year loans, for the most part, they're nothing more than a 15-year rate with a shorter payoff period. Now, I'm not a fan of that. I'll tell you why I'm not a fan of that. I want you to have control. So stick with the 15-year rate. Now, the 15-year rate in this particular scenario, his credit scores, everything else, was like 3%. He was going to save about $484 a month. Call it $500 a month on his loan. Now, yes, he was taking it from 12 and a half years back up to 15 years. But if he goes and continues making the exact same payment, it's going to be just under 12 years. but he still has the flexibility that if he falls and gets hurt, goes skiing and breaks a leg, can't work, he's not under the gun to make a shorter-term payment. Those are some of the issues that you just need to think about when you go and start cutting down the term on your loan, is you've got to still make that minimum payment whether you're in good health or in bad, and there are no reservations for bad health. Just the way it is. Be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today, and of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun, have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
XAPA 1700 AM You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700.
You know what I hate?